This show is brought to you by Handy Washroom Direct. Welcome to the Deep Dive.
Glad to be here.
Today we're looking into something really quite fundamental for commercial spaces, making washrooms more accessible.
Absolutely. It's about inclusivity, making sure everyone feels welcome and, well, can actually use the facilities easily.
Right. It really shapes your whole feeling about a place, doesn't it? If you can navigate it comfortably, that's the goal.
It totally does. And it's not just, a nice feeling. It's about dignity, ease of use for everyone, customers, employees, doesn't matter.
Exactly. So for this deep dive, we've zeroed in on what we think are the top 5 washroom supply products that really boost accessibility.
Yeah, the ones that give you the most bang for your buck, so to speak, in terms of impact.
And interestingly, a lot of these upgrades, they often line up with local accessibility laws anyway.
That's a key point. Often, doing the right thing for accessibility is also meeting a legal requirement. So it's smart business, too.
Okay, so let's dive in. First up, accessible toilet stalls. We've all seen them. They're bigger. Why exactly is that extra space so critical?
Well, it really boils down to maneuverability, especially for wheelchair users.
Right.
You need that turning radius, that space to approach the toilet, get positioned, and transfer safely. Without it, it's difficult, maybe impossible.
Makes sense. But it's not just the space, is it? There are specific features inside.
Oh, definitely. The space is step one. Inside, you've got handrails, grab bars, absolutely essential.
There's support.
Exactly. For balance, stability, especially when sitting down or standing up. And, for many people with mobility issues, these aren't optional. They're necessary for independence.
And I think our sources mentioned lowered sinks and mirrors, too.
Yes, that's another really important detail. Standard height sinks, mirrors, they just don't work well if you're seated in a wheelchair.
Right, you can't reach or see properly.
Precisely. Lowering them allows for comfortable use, washing hands, checking your appearance, without struggling. It's about dignity again.
It really shows a deeper level of consideration, doesn't it? Thinking through the whole experience.
It does. It signals that a business understands and values all its patrons and employees. It's a powerful message.
Okay, moving on. Number 2, touchless faucets and soap dispensers. These feel like they're everywhere now in commercial washrooms, certainly in North America.
They really are almost standard practice, yeah. And obviously, the big driver initially was hygiene, reducing germ spread.
Still less touching.
But the accessibility benefit is, well, it's huge. It's a fantastic side effect almost.
How so? Like, who benefits most from the touchless aspect?
Think about anyone with limited hand strength or dexterity, arthritis, for example, or someone maybe recovering from an injury.
Okay.
Twisting knobs, pushing pump dispensers, that can be genuinely difficult or painful. A simple wave of the hand, much, much easier.
Right. No force required.
Exactly. And also consider people using mobility aids, wheelchairs, crutches, canes. Reaching and operating traditional fixtures might be awkward, might upset their balance.
I hadn't really thought about the balance aspect. That's a good point.
Yeah, touchless removes that physical barrier. It just makes a basic task simpler and safer for a really wide range of people. It's elegant, really.
Okay, number 3, wall-mounted changing tables. Our source called this a no-brainer, and I have to say, I agree. Seems essential if you serve the public.
It really does. I mean, think of the number of parents, caregivers out there with young children.
Right, it's a huge demographic.
And if there's no changing table, what are the options? They're often unhygienic, unsafe, really inconvenient. Trying to change a baby on a bathroom floor or a counter, it's just not okay.
No, definitely not. And are they hard to install?
Not typically, no. The source mentioned it's often less than an hour's work. Pretty straightforward, relatively affordable.
So a small effort for a big improvement in user experience.
Absolutely. And there's an accessibility angle here, too, beyond just parents with babies.
How so?
They're installed at a specific height, right? That height is generally accessible, meaning it can also benefit parents or caregivers who might use a wheelchair themselves.
Ah, I see. So they can comfortably reach and use the table, too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It makes the facility usable for more people. It's a thoughtful design consideration, a small investment, huge goodwill, addresses a real need.
Makes perfect sense. Okay, item 4. Accessible grab bars. We mentioned them with the stalls, but let's focus just on them. The source says, simple, cheap, essential.
Couldn't agree more. They are fundamental for washroom safety and accessibility.
Why are they so crucial?
They provide vital support. For older adults, people with balance issues, mobility impairments, Anyone who needs a bit of extra stability, they can literally prevent falls. They help people use the toilet independently, safely. That's huge.
And you mentioned transfers for wheelchair users earlier.
Yes, absolutely critical for that. Having a sturdy bar to grip when moving from the chair to the toilet and back provides essential stability and leverage.
But placement matters, right? You can't just stick them anywhere.
Oh, absolutely not. Location, height, and crucially, secure anchoring, making sure they're fixed solidly to the wall, are paramount. They need to be able to support significant weight.
So proper installation is key.
It's non-negotiable.
Yeah.
But assuming they're installed correctly, grab bars are probably one of the very first things a business should look at adding. High impact, relatively low cost.
Got it. A foundational piece.
Definitely.
All right, finally, number 5, touchless hand dryers. Again, with the touchless.
Yes, it's a recurring theme for good reason. Like
Yeah.
the faucets, they're easy to install and make a big difference.
So similar benefits to the faucets.
Yeah.
Ease of activation.
Exactly. No buttons to push, just wave your hands underneath. Again, great for dexterity issues. But also think about the process of drying.
Versus paper towels.
Right. With paper towels, you need to be able to grasp, pull, sometimes tear them off. That requires a certain level of hand function.
Okay, yeah.
Touchless dryers eliminate that need entirely. You just place your hands in the airflow. Much easier for a wider range of people.
The source actually suggested grab bars and touchless dryers might be the top 2 upgrades if you had to pick.
Yeah, I can see that logic. Grab bars address the core safety and support need around the toilet, and touchless dryers streamline the hand washing process significantly. It's a good combo.
And modern ones are pretty fast too, right?
They are, yeah. Powerful airflow, quick drying, which is just, well, more convenient for everyone. Plus, you get the hygiene benefit again, less contact. And potentially a cleaner washroom overall, no paper towel mess.
Right. No overflowing bins or towels on the floor. That's a plus for maintenance too.
For sure. It's a cleaner, faster, more accessible way to dry hands compared to traditional paper towels.
Okay, so let's quickly recap those top 5 for everyone. We had accessible toilet stalls, focusing on space and features like grab bars and lowered fixtures. Then touchless faucets and soap dispensers, great for hygiene and ease of use. Third, wall-mounted changing tables, a must for parents and caregivers, with bonus accessibility.
Yep.
Fourth, those essential accessible grab bars, properly placed and secured.
Crucial.
And finally, touchless hand dryers, making the end of the hand washing process easy and efficient.
That covers the core items that make a big, tangible difference.
And implementing these, maybe not all at once, but building towards them.
Huh.
Our source mentioned a potential budget, something like around $10,000, to get most or all of this done fairly quickly.
Yeah, that sounds like a reasonable ballpark figure, depending on the specifics of the space, obviously. But it puts it in perspective. It's an investment, sure, but a manageable one for the return.
And what is that return, ultimately?
Well, fundamentally, businesses want satisfied customers and happy, productive employees, right?
Of course.
Accessible washrooms feed directly into that. When people feel comfortable, safe, and respected in your space, and the washroom is a key part of that space, it leaves a really positive, lasting impression.
It shows you care, basically. It reflects your business's values.
Exactly. It demonstrates inclusivity, consideration. It says, everyone is welcome here, and we've thought about your needs. That matters.
It really does. Well, this has been incredibly practical, I think. Some really concrete steps businesses can take.
Definitely. Focusing on these accessibility solutions is just good practice all around. Good for people, good for compliance, good for the business's image.
Visit handywashroom.com to explore these accessibility solutions further.
Good resource.
And now, for our final thought to leave you with. Take a moment next time you're thinking about your business facilities. Consider the long-term impact on customer loyalty, on your reputation. What message is your washroom sending right now?